How's this juggernaut going to be stopped that you've created, mate? Can anyone beat you for the rest of the season, you think?
Oh, yeah. Every game will go above it on its merits. We said all along, probably from Knox through to the end of the season is really our test. We've got five games out of those last 6 are against teams in the top 6. Head-to-head is definitely going to be an important part of who finishes where this season. So Geelong Bendigo this weekend, I mean, if you go away relaxed and lose both those and then one of your home games, you're sitting back in 8th spot. So we've given ourselves a little bit of a buffer, but that could all end in one weekend. So we've got to make sure that we go over there, and it's a huge couple of games for Geelong and Bendigo as well as us. We're all fighting for that top 4. So they've probably got the advantage that it's on their home floor, but we've got the advantage that we've won our last 8 games in Melbourne. We're 8-0 this season, so we want to try and continue that streak, but it'll be backs to the wall for both teams.
So you've got a group you think that doesn't become complacent? They wouldn't be able to do that? I
don't know. We trained Monday night. I felt like there's a little bit of complacency set in, and we had a bit of a chat to the guys, but hopefully not. Jared Bairstow and the introduction of him with Harry and all that. I mean, this is the time of the year that these guys sort of excel, and I see no reason why they can't continue to grow. And we've said it all along. We're going after a national championship this year. There's some tough teams we're coming up against now, but again, that's got to be our focus, and we've got to win the championship in the south to be able to get that opportunity, and that's what we're set on.
Is Sammy back this week?
No, Sam will play our next home game against Waverley, and then we're back to full strength. So that'll give us 3 or 4 weeks to really work with the group to get our systems right and everyone on the floor for the first time. And again, if we can make that work, then there's no reason why we can't win a championship from this season.
So much talent. How have you found putting them all together?
Yeah,
have they been accepting maybe some blokes of having lesser roles and things like that?
Yeah, look, I think it's always a challenge to fit so many good players into a team, but the problem right now is we have not been challenged. If you look at Knox, which I was expecting a really tough hit out and probably the first step towards these 5-6 games that are going to test us. I think we were 30 up halfway through the third. So when those tight situations come, that'll tell us a lot about each individual and how we get across the line. So really looking forward to this weekend. It should tell us a lot, not just about the win-losses, but also individuals in tough situations, because let's be honest, we haven't been tested yet, and that time is now coming where we're playing 5 out of the top 6 teams on the ladder in the next 3 weeks.
You still think you're the best team out of that bunch?
Oh, look, I still rate Sandringham highly, and Geelong Bendigo, like Bendigo's won 9 in a row as well. Well, we've got to go to Bendigo on Sunday afternoon after a 2.5-hour drive. So Geelong's always tough at home, Bendigo, and then probably the third one is Sandringham. So those 3 teams over these next 4 games will give us a true indication of where we're at. Sandringham are basically Melbourne United's bench. I know they were missing a few last week and lost against Bendigo, but or against Kilsyth, but they'll be back at full strength by the time they meet us, which that's exciting. That's what we're playing for. It's really going to be the top 4 teams are going to be really strong.
You mentioned Sammy Mack has got to come back in. How will everyone adapt when he comes back? Do you feel you've got the personalities that they're not going to worry if their role is reduced and things like that?
Well, I mean, we've been sort of adding as we go. I mean, we've got to this stage adding players in throughout the season, and I'm quietly confident we've got a team that wants to win. And look, even Harry takes off next week, so he's got one more home game and then he's back starting off his NBL Brisbane training. So he'll be fly in, fly out. So there's a lot of distractions, but that's what we do as a group, and we've dealt with that for years. And look, if you don't play your role or you're not up to scratch, then there's a guy sitting right next to you that will be. So it's great to have that depth to make everyone accountable at the same time. And we talk about all these guys, but really the biggest pleasure for me the last 2-3 weeks is watching Jack Stanwicks and Jacob Richards really lift and go to another level. And I think that's because of the complement of players that we've brought in, and they're challenging them at training and they're getting better. So hopefully those two guys in particular continue to grow.
If you go all the way to the national final, do you get all those guys available to play? Like the
Yep.
NPL guys?
Yep. Yeah, everyone will be there and available. I think everyone's excited about getting the opportunity to win the first truly national NBL 1 title. A lot of people talking about it. You got the Darwin Salties with Jawa and Tad Duffermeyer and a few other guys up there, like the North, the West. I mean, they're all loaded, the top 2 or 3 teams. It's going to be an exciting time of the year for everyone, for basketball.